Russell Martin's reign at Rangers is only just beginning, but storm clouds are already gathering over Ibrox. With questions swirling and pressure mounting, fresh revelations have sparked serious debate about just how secure the manager's position really is. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Rangers news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. But first, the real reason Rangers were awarded a penalty against Alloa Athletic in the Premier Sports Cup been revealed. In the 65th minute of the match, with the scoreline sitting at 2-1 in the host's favour, Oscar Cortez's effort struck the hand of opposition substitute Cameron O'Donnell. Referee Dan McFarlane initially waved the incident away, although after VAR intervened, he was asked to review it and a penalty was given. Speaking live on Premier Sports, although pundit Michael Stewart claimed the award of a spot kick was harsh, he revealed that the key reason it was given was because VAR official Greg Aitken believed Cortez's effort was on target and had a chance of hitting the back of the net. Indeed, IFAB rules state that if a player's non-deliberate handball denies a goal or clear scoring opportunity, a penalty will be awarded. Just looking back at the penalty kick, the VAR official is obviously talking about that it was accidental, but the ball was going on target, said Stewart. I was under the impression that if the arm was in a position that is a consequence of the movement, you wouldn't be punished for it. But the officials on this occasion have seen differently. We are obviously listening to VAR, and that is the thing that was being spoken about, in terms of if the strike was potentially on target. I mean, as much as that feels not like a natural thing, if there is a shot on target that is a consequence, I think the overriding factor is he is less than a foot away from him. His arm is in what you would regard as a natural position due to the movement he is marking. So I do think it was unfortunate and harsh on O'Donnell and Alloa. Rangers eventually won the match by 4-2 as they booked their place in the quarter-finals of the Premier Sports Cup, where they will take on either Livingston or Hibernian. Now, in a huge Russell Martin sack claim, Russell Martin's early days in the Ibrox dugout have been anything but smooth, with Rangers stumbling out of the blocks in their first 2 SPFL fixtures. Points have already been dropped against both Dundee and Motherwell, leaving Rangers supporters frustrated by what has been a lacklustre domestic start to the season. Even their Scottish League Cup outing against Alloa Athletic brought little comfort. Rangers eventually came through 4-2, but only after a laboured performance that did little to inspire confidence. The appointment of Martin was never universally popular. After a lengthy summer search, Rangers' hierarchy ultimately passed on Davide Ancelotti, once considered the frontrunner, and instead turned to the former Ibrox defender. It was a decision that raised eyebrows, particularly given Martin's troubled spell at Southampton. Still, the board believed he was the right man to oversee their new era. So far, however, the results tell a different story. With no league win to his name and Celtic already 4 points clear, the pressure is beginning to build. The looming Old Firm clash at the end of August now feels seismic, and respected pundit Hugh Keevins has warned that defeat could push Martin into dangerous territory. Writing in the Daily Record on the 17th of August, Keevins noted, "It is the possibility of the nuclear fallout from an Old Firm defeat, which puts a double-digit gap between the sides. That is the only reason for putting the Champions League second on Rangers' list of priorities." Martin's position, bizarre as it may seem to those not born and brought up in the Old Firm singular environment, would become untenable in the eyes of many if a derby defeat occurred. An underwhelming appointment for some would become an overwhelming disappointment for most. Andrew Kavanagh and the 49ers Enterprises Consortium would come under sustained pressure to review the cataclysmic collapse of the transition from old-school leadership at Ibrox to the new frontier of American ownership. The likelihood of Rangers sacking Martin so soon after his June appointment appears slim. The board is publicly committed to a long-term vision, particularly after a sweeping summer rebuild of the squad. His progress in Europe has also provided a glimmer of encouragement, but the Old Firm is no ordinary fixture. Should Celtic extend their advantage into double figures before September, unrest among the Ibrox faithful would be impossible to ignore. Given Celtic's dominance, winning 13 of the last 14 league titles, supporters are demanding immediate signs that Rangers can mount a credible challenge. Skepticism over Martin's appointment already lingers, with critics pointing to his possession-heavy style and struggles under pressure in England's top flight. For now, the board may stand firm, but if Celtic pull away, patience in the stands will evaporate fast, and Martin's margin for error could vanish with it. In other news, Rangers are bracing themselves for late transfer window drama, with growing anticipation that bids will arrive for some of their biggest names, including Nicholas Raskin and Hamza Egerman. Manager Russell Martin is preparing for every scenario in the final stretch of the market, and while the club are determined to keep hold of their prized assets, there is an acceptance that sizable offers could change the landscape. Should either Raskin or Egerman depart, Rangers are ready to channel those funds directly back into strengthening the squad. Interest in Egerman has been steadily rising across Europe. The Moroccan forward is on the radar of several clubs, among them Everton, Feyenoord, Rennes, Udinese and Lille. None have yet put forward a formal bid, but with the window edging towards its conclusion, Rangers are expecting the situation to escalate. Raskin, meanwhile, has also drawn attention south of the border. The Belgian midfielder is admired by Premier League sides, and although Rangers are intent on keeping him, questions have emerged over whether his focus has been unsettled by the interest. Martin has acknowledged that approaches have been made, but insists the player remains central to his plans. Should a move materialise, a replacement in midfield would immediately be sought to protect the balance of the team. Any significant departure, sources insist, would be viewed as both a setback and an opportunity. The funds generated would allow Martin to reshape the side and address key areas before the deadline, with particular emphasis on maintaining strength through the spine of the team. The uncertainty is not limited to Raskin and Egerman. Ridvan Yilmaz could also be heading for the exit door. Talks have already taken place with Besiktas, who are keen to bring the left-back back to Turkey. A return to his homeland has long been on the cards after previous attempts fell short last year, and the Istanbul Giants are expected to push hard to get a deal done. Galatasaray have also monitored his situation closely since January, with Yilmaz himself open to a switch back to the Super League. With speculation mounting around multiple first-team starts, Rangers face a potentially decisive few weeks that could reshape Russell Martin's squad for the season ahead. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so make sure you join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.